Remember, this video is about dependency. It's for about the person who cannot stop hitting their pen, right? Like I could have a pen on my table and not want to hit it. That's not true for some of you. So here's a very common question that I get asked. A lot of times I hear from people who are young, between 13 and 21 years old, and they're dependent on weed. They found it early in life. They love it too much. And they're always asking me like, well, what can this do? What are the negative effects of my dependency? When you're dependent on weed, it can actually impair your cognitive ability, such as your memory, such as your attention span and your ability to learn and process new information. Some of you do feel lost and stuck in life, and when I tell you to do certain things, you tell me that you can't focus, you have no interest, you can't really finish the things you start. Well, some of that is the cognitive impact that it's had on your ability to function properly because you've become really dependent on this substance. It's obviously going to affect your school performance as well, which again, it's a snowball effect because that can then lead to future success or future opportunities in your life to be completely taken out of the picture because you're not doing so hot in school. It can also interfere with your relationships with your friends and with your family. Heavy weed use can definitely cause conflict and tension between loved ones. Either they're sick of you seeing you high all the time, or you're tired of tolerating them unless you're high. You don't quite communicate properly when you're high. You're really in your own world. Whatever have you, like heavy marijuana use can definitely lead to conflicts and tension with your loved ones. And you can even lose touch with the people that are around you and that you care about over time because you get really consumed and just wanting to be high and feeling in your own world. Another negative effect of marijuana dependency is financial problems. If you're spending a lot of money on marijuana, it's gonna put a strain on your budget unless you are really well off financially. It is not cheap, and if you do buy it cheap or you get it from some non-legal or reputable source, you have to understand that there's a higher risk of negative health consequences that are at stake here for you. Whether you recognize it or not, it's irrelevant because they still are there. I hope they don't come to surface for you, but it's something for you to consider. Your financial problems can increase if you're young and you find yourself doing stupid shit just so you could buy weed or buy whatever it is that you're really obsessed about. Now, the next one is going to be really obvious, and a lot of people want to debate this, but the science and the facts are in. If you're abusing marijuana, it's going to increase your risk for getting mental health problems. Heavy marijuana use has definitely been linked to increase in anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. That can definitely overall impact your well-being and quality of life. I can say personally, one of the things that I did because I loved weed so much at one point in my life, and I was also very stressed out, it definitely got to a point where I noticed that it was actually making my mental health worse because I was neglecting other healthier habits that I had, and I was solely just obsessed with wanting to just get high to use that to be my stress reliever, and it does make my anxiety and depression worse. So that's something I've experienced, many of you have experienced. So this is a very common thing that a lot of people ignore. They say, oh, it's just a skill issue, bro, like you can't do it, you can't handle it. It's not the conversation I even want to have because it's just starting off the ground with like no logic at all. Finally, this is one that a lot of people don't really recognize either, which is that it does affect your physical health if you're dependent on weed. I won't even get into the hormone impact for males, but long-term effect of marijuana use definitely affects your physical health. It's something that we're still understanding, but from experience and from other people that I've talked to about this, at least as a man, it definitely lowers your testosterone and it will increase your estrogen levels, especially if you are already unhealthy, eating shit food, you don't exercise, you don't meditate, you don't have good sleep. The 5 pillars that I talk about all the time are at the least an essential for a good foundation. And then if you smoke a little bit of weed here and there, you're not going to have as crazy side effects. Remember, this video is about dependency. It's for about the person who cannot stop hitting their pen, right? Like I could have a pen on my table and not want to hit it. That's not true for some of you. So you can't even have it on the table. You can't even have it around you at all. So you have to understand where you're at. And I hope that what we talked about in this video, one of the points, got you to think about your habit and maybe reassess it. If you do want to take a break, you need to take a serious break, time off, spend time healing, spend time detoxing your body out of whatever shit that it's been collecting from you abusing weed. And then over time, once you feel much better about your situation, you can reassess whether or not you have the ability to have a moderate relationship with weed. Some people do and some people don't, and you really have to find out for yourself what that is. I hope you found this helpful. If you want to talk more, hit us up in the Better Yourself Discord community. We'd love to hear from you, and if you have any other thoughts about what you want to hear next, put them in the comments and we will get back to you.